Hello, everyone. I am Cam Buros, known as Hansifer, and today with me I have
I'm Bao Tran. I'm known as Daddy Disney.
we are both alumni from last year, and we're given the opportunity to cast this game for the team. Just to start out by thanking the viewers and Hilliard Esports for supporting the club. And today we're going to be playing against Team Outcry from Northside High School.
So already we have the Orin Aphelios band from Team Outcry and a Seraphine Renekton band on Hilliard Cybercats. It looks like right now they're focusing on the top lane ban with the Orin and the bot lane bans with the Aphelios Pike.
Pike and Aphelios are our bot lane's probably most favorite champions to play. Right now, the champions have also been, meta has been shifted a little bit due to the item changes that we saw about 2 weeks ago. So, going to be interesting to see what picks are going to be coming out on both sides for what they think is going to be really good in these matchups.
Ooh. And so far, we have a Jhin who's actually pretty dominant in the meta right now as for an ADC. And as for the Hilliard Cybercats, Fiora going to Bubble Puppy, a very prominent pick for him, enjoys Fiora a lot. And the Zoe pick for most likely Gorf, who is a Zoe
Now, it is a little interesting because Gorf is the ADC, which traditionally you will not see a Zoe in the bot lane. But you
man.
never
Oh,
know. With these new item changes, they could be trying to do something new, something creative to throw the enemy off their game. The enemy has picked Jax and Vayne, which are two very hard scaling champions. So it looks like they're going to be playing for a mid to late game, trying to either snowball.
ooh, and there's the
And
Swain pick for most likely an actual bird, has very high performance ratings on him.
I also do apologize. I forgot they picked Jen. This looks like it will be a Vayne top and Jax jungle, which is really interesting right now. Vayne has always been one of those ranged top laners that is very annoying to deal with, but has trouble getting ahead in that lane if the enemy is very aware of how the champion matchup works.
Right. With the new patch coming out, I don't think I've seen all too many Vayne players in the top.
Yes, I definitely agree. Top lane is very full of tanks right now, and while Vayne does go very well into them, not with these new items, the tanks kind of just run her down at every point in the game, which is very unfortunate for her. And then looks like the Cybercats banned out 2 more supports, so they are definitely targeting that support player on their side. And the Zyra ban coming out for North side. Looks like they're also trying to target the support, which they may be unaware of the Swain, who can be flexed between the mid and support role. And looks like we're going to see what they're going to pick here.
Ezreal. Alrighty. I know that Gorf said he has probably the most fun on Ezreal and probably one of his high. Yeah. Thank you, Caleb.
And looks like Northside has picked a Mumu, probably the strongest champion in the game right now. Very kind of confusing right now because they have a lot of champions that can flex to a lot of roles. So we're gonna have to see how that comes down
Oh,
to when they swap their lanes here. And looks like the Cybercats has picked up the Rammus, also another very strong champion right now. Ah, I see. Thank you for that information. Um, but how do you feel about this draft right now? It looks like we're gonna have a Vayne mid against the Zoe. I don't play much mid, so how does that matchup really go?
so already knowing that Asmodee's original main was Zoe, I think he's going to have an easy matchup into the Vayne, so long as Vayne can't get 3 consecutive auto attacks off. Zoe's initial burst in the early game is somewhat lackluster, but it adds up over time. So although Vayne can poke down a Zoe, it's going to be difficult, especially since Vayne is also an item-oriented champion to actually deal her damage over time. Zoe, all she has to do is probably sit on a Lost Chapter, and she can probably snowball the lane from there.
Hmm. No, and I think this bot lane right now, both have very strong synergies going on with the Jhin Lux and the Ezreal Swain. Both are going to be very snowbally, and I think both scale very well into the mid game. And I think the game is going to be pretty even. whichever team is going to be fighting for that advantage early on with the objectives, taking towers, getting the kills early, trying to snowball their champions so that they can just take over the game. These new items make that a very, very strong thing.
Right. And going from top lane downward, we have two hyper split pushers going into each other. Next off, we have two of probably the strongest junglers right now in the meta, facing off one another. The mid lane, I'd say it's in favor of the Zoe, just because of the nature of mages into early game ADCs. And for the bot lane, Jhin to Ezreal and Lux into Swain, I feel like the fight potential is in favor of Ezreal Swain just because of the nature of Swain and how he can control the team fight pretty pretty easily. But if Jhin Lux gets ahead, it's kind of devastating. So we'll see how it pans out.
Yes, Jhin is a very strong ADC right now. He can go Dark Harvest into a lot of damage, and with Cybercats picking a lot of squishy champions, he will be a monster in that late game with that full build.
What are you excited to see this game? How do you think things are gonna pan out?
Honestly, I'm excited to see some of these late game builds. Now, last week, the Cybercats did face off against the Jax in the top lane, and that Jax kind of ran through them at that later game. And the point in the game, they could not contest those fights. He was 1v5ing them. Now, granted, he did have a Yuumi on them, which the Cybercats did ban. So they may have been thinking about that when they saw that Jax pick.
Right.
But I think Fiora is also not going to be as strong in the later game of Jax, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they will deal with that in the 1v1. Fiora did not receive some of the buffs that other top laners have received with these new items. I think she is kind of lacking right now with her item power spikes as opposed to the like Jax and the Amumu, who's probably going to be ganking that top lane a lot.
Right. I'm actually pretty excited to see how team fights around mid to late game, so around like second to third drag or Baron fights are going to pan out, just because of the Amumu ultimate. It's so strong right now, especially with the new Sunfire Cape items. All he has to do is stick to them. If he ults the team, they're in a bad spot because, let's see, Zoe can't afford to get caught into CC like that, or Jax, Vayne, they just run her down. Ezreal needs to stay at a distance, or else he gets run down. Really, the only forms of frontline is probably Rammus and Swain, who can tank for a little time. Swain dealing out damage over time. Fiora, she's not known for her team fighting potential, but I mean, she can't dish out damage. So it really depends on how they play out the team fights and how it progresses through the cooldowns.
I definitely agree. I think this is going to be a very interesting team fights. We're going to see how they navigate them, see how well that the Cybercats can do that, and hopefully they'll just be able to pick up this game and then go on to the second one for that clean 2-0 victory.
Alrighty, let's see what some of the summoner spells are.
Now,
So
immediately I'm noticing the Hail of Blades Vayne mid. Very interesting rune choice. She's definitely looks like she's going to be going for those trades with the Zoe and then trying to back out.
mhm. I see the Luxbring Guardian. That's not an uncommon one, pretty common. Playing a more passive defensive lane.
Guardian Lux is a very scaling rune choice for her. And she also took heal, which is really interesting. Interesting summoner spell with the Jhin also picking it up. The heals do not stack on top of each other. Once one is used, if the other one is used in a short time frame, it won't do as much healing. It does still provide the speed though, so they could be going for that.
And we also have Fleet Footwear coming out from Jhin.
Very
against the Swain CC.
Interesting rune choice, because I know Jin's also like to go Dark Harvest right now. And it's going to be, with all these new item choices, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of build he goes here. I know that Jin has 2 different build paths, one with Eclipse and one with Shield Bow. And
right.
all these other champions are going to be interesting to see what they build too.
I'm excited to see how the top lane matchup goes, because one has Ignite, one has TP. So Jax innately just has more pressure over this Fiora.
Yes, Jax is definitely going to be looking for that snowball with the Ignite over the TP. Fiora definitely looking for more of a team-oriented playstyle here, being able to move around the map quickly if the fight ever breaks out, to quickly turn the advantage.
In addition with the Rammus, whose Q innately just gives him a burst of movement speed. So we'll see how Hilliard Cybercats works around the map with these utility-based sets.
I think the game should be loaded soon, and yet here we are.
Ah,
And let's just see what goes at the beginning. Maybe they go for some spicy invades. Maybe they're going to do a 5-point defense. I don't know. I'm excited.
commonly Cybercats does do a lot of 5-pointing, but we shall see. The Cybercats honestly isn't set up for a bad invade. I mean, they have the CC, they have the front line. They don't have too much to do.
Definitely depends on if they invade, who gets the drop on who. Who has
Oh,
vision.
sorry.
We are also
Yeah.
getting the good luck, have fun from Xander in the top lane. It's really great to see. Great job, Cybercats.
Good sportsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we are starting off both teams with a 5. Let's
Looks
see.
like some of the players might still be sighting on what they want to buy. Maybe they haven't quite connected to the game. Looks like Zoe is finally moving. Now Vayne did get the deep ward in Rammus's jungle, so she will be looking for where he's going to start. He
And
might get
he's
spotted
just now
out
in
here.
vision.
Huh.
Oh,
So I'm not sure if they saw him there. He may have been able to walk in the perfect angle so that he didn't get spotted. The blue team is not going to figure out where Rammus is starting his clear, which is very good for them, for the red side. And looks like Amumu's going to just be doing a clear on his blue. We'll look to see if he tries to level 3 gank top or if he's just going to go for the full clear.
Jack's notably starting in that mid brush towards the alcove, looking for that cheese on Fiora.
Definitely going to be one of doing that with the ignite he took. He's trying to get that lane snowballing so he can just take it over and make Fiora a very hard champion to play into.
Alrighty. And the games are off as the first waves start to clash with each other.
Interesting. Jhin is currently standing under his tower, not helping with that leash, and arriving a little bit late to the lane. Don't know if he missed any of the minions there or some of the XP. We'll have to see when that level 2 power spike comes out for the bot lane.
Looks like Team Outcry is pretty scared of the bot lane right now. Heavily respecting the level 1 Swain. Although he's not much of a threat until level 2 when he has his CC.
Well, Swain can start E. He can lock you down level 1. Looks like he is going for that.
Yep.
You're just going to get that quick trade with the electrocute proc. Broken him down a little. Just getting whatever type of health advantage they can. Now, I do believe Zoe picked up a
Everfrost.
item there, right?
Yes, I believe that was Everfrost. Makes it so if a champion stands in the middle of that cone, they get stunned. So a really strong item just for a level 2.
Very lucky right there. Really great trade potential in that early game. So he's definitely going to be wanting to get the advantage on the Vayne here. And right now it just looks like they're farming up.
Yep. Skirmish in the top side.
Rammus is coming in for the gank. Jack's flashing away immediately. Rammus also flashing on top of him. Looks like he's going for the kill. Jax jumps back on, almost trades with him, and he does not get it. He does blow his ignite as well, so he loses a lot of that kill pressure. And Fiora's very excited about that one. I know Xander loves to get some free CS against his opponent, especially when it doesn't have TP. Also likes to control that wave management a lot.
That is 2 kills to the clear Cybercats. But again, it's still in the early game. Those 2 kills don't really dictate whether the outcome is good or bad.
Yes, anything can happen. You never know. Looks like Amumu is going to be coming in for this bot lane gank. He's not going to be spotted on the try. Lux is also moving with them. Looks like they're going to walk back. Mumu is actually going for the Scuttle Crab. Looks like they are going to respect the bot lane 2v3 potential, and Rammus is going to catch up to him. Rammus is going around him. Looks like Zoe's moving down. They're just trading. Swain dropping down the W, one of his long range abilities able to do that. And looks like Rammus is just, not Rammus, Amumu's just going to die here with his team not able to come and rotate to help him. Fiora also picking up the solo kill in the top lane.
2 more kills to Team Cybercat.
Looks like Fiora was actually very close in that team fight. Basically got out with a little bit of health. And right now, all lanes look like they're doing very good for the Cybercats. We're able to see how Northside translates this into the mid game, see if they try to survive, farm up, try to scale with the opponents. Looks like Rammus is going for the invade. Amumu's gonna see him, gonna walk out, say no, I don't want this. Even though looks like he's just deciding what he wants to do here. He's gonna walk into his top side. He says, I don't want to try to fight this Rammus. I did just get 4v1'd in the mid river. And the enemy bot lane being shoved on their tower. They do get the heal out from both champions, and Swain also drops his ignite. But it's a very good spot for the bot lane. They are able to hold this wave right now. The enemy is very scared to walk up. Makes it very hard for them to get some farm.
The bot lane trying their best to build a slow push into the tower to see if Rammus can go for the gank under tower, but seemingly a little risky now that the Cannon wave is crashing.
Yes, diving
Rammus is back.
So Rammus is currently about to hit level 6. He will get his ultimate, start doing some more damage in the 1v1s for sure. Looks like he's trading with Vayne, getting that quick hail of blades trade in the mid lane. Does. Ooh! A very nice Q from the Zoe with the ultimate there to get that bonus damage. Vayne probably not expecting it for to come out of the Fog of War, also combining it with the smite for that extra bit of damage. Zoe does get the solo kill. Looks like Swain is getting the pull here. Jhin has to flash out. Ezreal kind of looking for that Q. Looks like he's not going to find it. Very good trade for the bot lane here. Jhin is in a very bad spot right now. Can die under this tower really quickly to the Swain, who has a lot of kill pressure right now with his electrocute. And looks like...
It's looking really good for the Cybercats right now with a 4.4 gold lead, 4.4k gold lead, my bad. And one thing I know that the Cybercats were working on is trying to accelerate snowballs and leads and how to actually implement that into a game. So let's see if they can put their practices to the test.
Yeah, let's see if they try to get some of these dives going on with this lead that they're getting with all their champions. Looks like Fiora is still just sitting in that top lane, waiting for Jax to try and walk up into the lane. And the Cybercats picked up the first Drake there. Very good for them. Looks like they're going to be trying to go for all 4 Drakes early on. Try to get that soul as fast as they can for that power spike. Use that as an early advantage that they have gotten for themselves. Now Zoe getting the really big Q right there with the sleep.
At this point in the game, if you are Team Outcry, you have every right to be scared of the enemy team. They are... You can tell that they are good players, that they have the experience on their champions, and honestly, you have to really step on eggshells if you want to make any move.
I definitely agree. It's a very precarious situation. If they try to fight, they may end up getting themselves into a deeper debt, and this game will be very out of their hands if they do. Right now, it looks like the lanes are back to farming. Looks like the bot lane is still being pushed in her tower. Mumu looking for that gank in the mid lane, trying to get that Vayne ahead. Probably the only lane that's in the best position right now, even though she has been solo killed. Swain also getting a trade in that bot lane, playing very aggressive, which is what you like to see on the Swain. Bully that enemy bot lane out of their CS and their XP.
Oh, and the Vayne barely escaping.
Vayne barely getting out of that fight. If the Zoe hit that sleep, that would have been very close. Looks like the Zoe is going to get that. I mean, honestly, I don't know what happened. I think she had an ignite from her bubble, and looks like Rammus picked up the blue buff against the Amumu, and he's going to be running him down.
So what happened was Vayne flashed under her tower, Zoe walked up, grabbed the flash, and basically dived her. And since her W gives her movement speed when she procs a spell, or a summoner spell like that, she was able to walk out of tower aggro.
Nice. Looks like Fiora is also going for the 1v1 with the Jax. Does take a couple tower shots, so she's not able to finish off that kill. Looks like she's going back in for it. Gets the W. With that parry, finish him off that. Jax is now going to be down really far behind with the 2 waves coming in top lane, losing that. Fiora maybe pick up an extra plate here. Now they know Amumu walk down to the bot side. Looks like bot lane is still harassing. Swain going for the 2v1 right now, while his Ezreal is farming up under tower.
The Cybercats controlling a demanding lead over the entirety of the map. You see Rammus taking control of objectives left and right, invading the Mumu, putting the Mumu in a very tight predicament. not much you can really do when the rest of your lanes are also dealing with their own sets of problems. Top lane about to fall to the Fiora, which is not what you want to see as a split pusher, because if you cannot out-push your opponent as a split pusher, then it's going to be really difficult for you to do that in the future as well.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough when Fiora is able to show up in those team fights and you're stuck there trying to stop the Fiora from taking everything. Now it looks like we're going to have the 4v2 going on in the bot lane. Swain popping his ulti with the Amumu getting the stun off. Not able to do much off of that. Ezreal's going to have to flash away. Vayne says she wants it. She pops her ulti, get that extra movement speed. Does not get the kill, it looks like. Zoe coming on the flank gets the sleep onto the Lux and one-shots her with the Q. Using the Everfrost to lock down the Vayne. Ezreal coming up, throwing the Q out at Conquer. And it looks like Amumu's just stuck in between two hard places.
Even more of a demand lead on the Hilliard Cybercat side with nearly 8k gold.
I think that was a very well rotate from the mid lane right there, able to show up even though Swain did go down. Looks like the Lux picked up the kill. Very unfortunate for the north side. They did not want that champion probably getting all the gold. They're definitely going to want that Vayne mid lane or the Jhin to pick it up, even though Jhin is very weak right now.
And looking at the items, UR has her full Trinity Force. Zoe has a full Everfrost as well. So it's not just a pickup item now, it is a full item in her inventory.
These mythics are definitely very big power spikes coming out right now. If you're able to get that against your laner, it's going to be very hard for them to fight. Looks like they're going to find Jhin in the river here on his own. Not quite sure why he's there. Be very interesting to see how he ended up in that situation. Maybe might have mentioned to get some vision on the Drake. North side, the really only way back into this game is if they're going to be getting these objectives for those power spikes in the team fights. Now Lux is blind checking into the Drake. It looks like Rammus is going to be going for the solo kill. Swain dropping the W, pulling them away. And this is just going to be a very clean kill from Hilliard Cybercats. Lux with no vision walking into her jungle. Very unfortunate for her. Now it looks like there's going to be a 2v1, 3v1 going on in the top. We'll have to see how Fiora goes. Jax with the counter strike. Fiora parries it, stuns the Jax, gets condemned into the wall by the Vayne. Fiora pocketing the ulti, looks like she's going for that lifesteal, gets the kill, start healing up from her ulti. Looks like she's going to hit the vitals on the Vayne. Amumu's coming in, trying to help. She finishes off the Vayne, and Amumu finishing her off with the E. Very well played for a 3v1. Fiora, definitely a very strong champion right now. She's definitely okay with that, because Cybercat's able to pick up this Drake with a Amumu top. There's no smite to contest it.
Beautiful play. I know that Bubble Puppy's been really trying to refine his mechanics on Fiora as well, and it really shows in that situation right there.
Yes, that fight could have gone really bad for him, but he was able to navigate it really well, proccing those vitals on his ultimate, getting that extra healing to survive for a little bit longer, to hit that Vayne for a little bit longer, finishing her off. Very close fight. Looks like Ezreal is going to be in, gets the Q and the auto attack to finish off the Jhin. Looks like every lane here is very strong right now. North side is going to have to give up these towers, maybe in the bot lane. That Lux is in a very dangerous spot with that Swain, being able to lock her down with the knee.
And it looks like right now the Cybercats have control of the entirety of the map, taking advantage of every single thing that the opponents are messing up on. They have a commanding lead over everything. The Team Outcry is in quite a predicament right now.
Yes, they do have. Team Outcry does have their summoner spells coming back up. The flashes on the Vayne and the Jax. They're going to be definitely looking for that to get a favorable position in fights, being able to jump on that back line. Looks like the bot tower is going to go down. The Amumu with the 2v3 is going to miss his binding. Jhin dropping the ultis. Current call coming out. He's missing everything. Very well played by Swain. He's able to sidestep it. Amumu getting caught out. Looks like they're just going to walk away. They don't know what they want to do. Amumu gets the bandage toss on the Swain. Swain drops the ulti. Amumu drops his ulti on top of that. Says, no, no, no. You're not going to be able to get any of the abilities out of here. It looks like they're arming him down. Swain does get the kill trade. And Ezreal actually picks it up. And Rammus did come in from the river. Looks like they will be able to get that Jhin. Got flash. Overall, I think that was very well for the Cybercats. They got 2 flashes from north side, and they didn't lose the shutdown on the Ezreal.
Right. Because even if you get a shutdown on a Swain, then again, he's only the support, and he can only live off that support salary. So really you want to be focusing all your resources onto the ADC, because the less time he's on the map, the less time he can do things for his team.
So the Vayne Ooh, looks like Zoe coming in with the sleep, getting that double kill. Vayne did make it out, but decided she wanted to go back in after hitting that condemn on her. Not quite sure how strong she thinks she is right now. And looks like Fior's just kind of getting this tower. Gets the parry onto the Jax. Might try to kill him here. We'll see. Getting very strong damage. I do believe she built Trinity Force, and she's just going to finish him off with that Q. Almost dies to the tower, which would have been really unfortunate. And the bot tower is also going down here. Zoe picking up the kill on the Jhin as well. Looks like she got that. Zoe's really strong right now, I'm going to be honest. She's a monster. She has 9 kills. Yeah, she's very strong right now. Zoe gets that snowball going. She can one-shot those squishies, which is a very unfortunate thing for them. And looks like they're just going to shove out this bot lane, look for a reset. Now, right now, Northside is in a very bad position. It's going to be very hard for them to fight for these objectives that are coming up. With the Herald coming up in about 20 seconds. I'm not sure who Drake is. Amumu 1v1ing the Swain right now. Fior TPing in, getting the ulti onto the... I think that's Vayne. Not able to proc the ulti, gets the ulti off. Now she's in a 1v3. Looks like she's trying to escape with the blast cone. No, she's going back in because Zoe shows up in the fight, getting the kill for the Jackson, and Fior is able to just finish off the Jhin. I mean the Lux, sorry. That was very well played. Fior was able to survive during that fight for their laners to come and help her. And it's a 1v4.
This game's looking kind of over for Team Outcry.
And Zoe also picking up the other kill, the Ezreal's health. And we're gonna have to see if they're gonna go for the end here, which they might. They're definitely in a very strong spot. Ezreal tanking the tower, does get it. Vayne coming out of base. So what she was gonna do. Zoe's very dangerous. Zoe almost getting the one shot. Gets the Everfrost calling off to slow her down. Jax is going in for the fight. Gets the counter strike to stun her. Zoe misses her stun, but Fior is able to just sit there in front of her and just cut him down with her Q. And it looks like the Cybercats are going to keep pushing here, probably trying to force this end.
Looking like it. The Dragon's coming up soon, so...
They're definitely strong. Zoe with the sleep onto the Lux. She does have her team there to block it. Swain is just getting that W off for that extra damage. Looks like they're just going to slowly siege this. Zoe does almost one-shot the Vayne. Very close fight. Jhin dropping some damage out, probably trying to delay the minion wave as long as he can, buy his team some time to heal up. Make any purchases they can for this last team fight. They are dropping the Herald here. We can use that to get some damage on the towers. And Zoe and Ezreal one-shot the Jhin once again. And there also goes the Lux down to the Ezreal ulti. And it looks like Cybercats are just going to end the game here. A very dominant presence.
A brutal game for Team Outcry. But congratulations for the Cybercats for winning their first game of 2. We'll see how the next game goes.